Hold on.
Hey, what?
Hey,
Oh, done.
hey. Hold on. That's probably loud. It's not bad. All right, let's go.
No, you're good. All right, here we go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to our BKFC Reddit. Ask Me Anything. We're joined by a familiar face, but we haven't seen him in the ring in a long time, Mr. Arnold Bomaye Adams. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, bro? How you feel?
I'm great. How many nicknames do you have? It's Bomaye. It's the Boogey Man. Like, I mean, how many AJ? What do you?
Okay, so like the family, close friends call me AJ. Um, the people from Chicago call me Cali. My fight name is Boomaye, but then I adopted the Boogeyman because nobody was calling me out. Nobody wanted to fight me.
Okay, so I asked Bryce Henry this question. I'm going to ask you. Bryce Henry, Baba Yaga, the boogeyman, you're the boogeyman. Do you see yourself and Bryce ever fighting for the right to have the name boogeyman, be exclusive?
If we fight, it's gonna have to be something on the game. I don't know, maybe a Mortal Kombat match or Madden or what's that
He
boxing
said you
game?
were too big for
Undisputed.
him. Yeah, he said you were
Yeah, of
too big for him.
course. No, yeah, like what is he, a 55er?
He
I
went
got
up to 65. He's approaching you.
I still got 100 pounds on him. No, and that's the dog, right? That's my dog for real. Bryce is my dog.
He told me, he's like, hey, I didn't realize it was gonna be so fun to interview you. He's like, who do you want to interview? And I said you, and he said he reached out to you. Is that true?
No, he definitely did. He was like, "Hey, bro, go do this. Do the interview with Reddit. They were trying to get a hold of you. They said you've been spinning them." So I'm like, all right, I'll go ahead and do it."
Okay, so let's ask this question. Where have you been? Like, we just talked to Dylan Kleckler. He had a manager who wasn't telling him that BKFC was proposing fights to him, and he thought BKFC kind of rid him off. Where have you been? Like, what has been so? Why haven't we seen you in so long?
I've been chilling. I've been calling out fighters. You see a couple of my posts. I called out Damo for about a year and a half. Chasing Mick Terrell. I wanted to rematch with Alan Belcher, but I kept being told that fight doesn't make sense. Or that fight is not in our cards to have that fight, or yada yada yada, whatever the case may be. I just kept hearing different answers, and on top of that, um, I don't think my management was liked by the promotion, you could say. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just kind of how I feel, but being on the outside looking at the inside of the situation.
Is it weird that you can be a former world champion and people are calling for you? I mean, you see it all over Instagram, all over Facebook. People are saying, "Where's Arnold Adams?" And you're just sitting there and you hear nothing.
I have my reasons or what I believe why that transpired. And truth be told, I don't think Feldman was too pleased with my last performance against Mick Terrell.
Sure.
So and I felt like it was like, well, since you wanted to bullshit your training and this and the third, we're gonna sit you down for a while and then see how you come back. Now, with this fight coming up, I feel like they're trying to sit me down and get me to retire. I feel like they're bringing me in, with intentions of me getting knocked out and following the footsteps of everybody else before me that's faced Perdomo. So that's what I think this is right now.
It's weird because you're fighting a hype train and you're either going to completely ruin a whole bunch of people's excitement, or people are going to be super excited to watch you get rolled over. Like, but I feel like you're in like the best predicament right now. I mean, like, you win, it's absolutely a huge promotion. Is this the number one contender fight? Like, what's going on with that?
This is a number one contender fight. From my understanding, winner gets shot at Rothwell for the belt. But yeah, no, he's a hype train. He's got the momentum behind him. He 7-0, all first round knockouts. Six of those knockouts within the first 30 seconds. So he's got a lot. His train is in motion right now. But at the same time, like I've told other people, they give him blow up dogs.
Sure.
As soon as you touch a blow up dog incorrectly, it's gonna pop. You put too much pressure on the blow up dog, it's gonna pop. The only person he fought that really stood there and tried to go back and forth with him was it was Acosta.
Sure.
Yeah, and even, but even then, he couldn't deal or take what Perdomo was handing out. Give me 1 second.
Sure.
My 2-year-old son is just having the ball while I'm on the interview. He never comes down here, but now that I'm on the interview, what's up, bro?
Yeah, he's more than welcome to jump on. It's fine with me. Like I have kids too, so like I completely understand.
Yeah, you see his head back there. There he
Yeah. Yeah.
is.
Okay,
But
you're
no,
a
yeah,
dad. Oh, sorry. Good.
no, I was gonna say
Please.
he's a hype train. And I feel like they're bringing me in to lose, and to show people that he can really compete with the higher level or whatever the case may be. But he's never been tested, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of people, he's never been tested. He's never been punched. He's never been outside the first minute, the first round, none of that. So we're gonna see how it goes.
It's kind of weird right now. BKFC, you got Josh Watson, and they just brought in the Castro from the UFC, and you got Dylan Kleckler. They just brought in Parker Porter from the. You know what I mean? Like I feel like BKFC's trying, like you said, trying to kind of weed out some of you older heavyweights, and I don't get it because you guys are the ones with the highlight reel knockouts and actual highlight reels. You know what I mean? Like you guys have been around and done it, and it's unfortunate.
I mean, I understand you want some new, young, fresh talent to bring in some new eyes. I get it, I understand it, but at the same time, like they were all geeked about Greg Hardy when he came in, and then he got his ass smoked
Sure,
in the worst way by Josh Watson. So I mean, some of us they can weed out, but then there's some like me and Watson that shouldn't. Y'all keep trying to get rid of us. It's not gonna happen. Like I don't see it happening at all. Even with Pradama, I don't see it happening.
is it there's no moral victories, but I mean, like, is there any area that you see yourself just clearly better than Perdomo? Perdomo's so hard because you don't have very much footage. All he literally does is get in there and swing for the fences. You know what I mean? Like, there's really not much that you can kind of base on. But I like, what are you clearly better than him at?
Boxing, he's a brawler.
Sure,
There's no technical ability about him. He's strong, he's explosive, and he's unloading powerful punches. Like that's his game. That's his thing. Unload heavy punches and press get you against the rope so he can really unload on you. Now, I got movement, I level change, angles, all of that. And yeah, like I said, I'm just a better boxer than this. I'm a
sure.
better boxer. I've been through some fires. Yeah, I've lost some fights. And that's on me not training correctly or taking it serious, while I was in camp or whatever. But I'm a better boxer.
You're a guy who does like the security, the private security. Is it is it like does it also put a target on your back? I mean, people know you as the BKFC guy, but then you're also like with these high client. No,
Not at all. Like I keep such a low profile. Like first of all, nobody knows me. I could be out walking down the street. Nobody's gonna be like, "Oh, aren't you that?" No, not at all. I don't get that attention. I barely got. I don't even. I got 6,000 followers on IG. I'll let you know. Nobody knows me when they see me outside.
okay, so let's talk about that. So it seems like Feldman's talked openly. He wants the fighters to kind of come up with characters and be more like outspoken. And is that something that interests you, or like you are who you are?
If you watch any of my old fights, not commentating, post fight interview, pre fight, they always cut the camera off on me because they'll never know what I'm going to say. They want character. They want you to open up. They want you to do this. But me, if I open up and show them who I really am, they go cut the camera on me every time. Prime example, I remember fighting Joey Beltron. They announce him. He throws up his C's, no problem. As soon as I throw up the C for Chicago, they cut the camera off of me. We did an interview one time. I said something. The last time I said something, it was about the whole crowd. Whoever that was in the crowd could eat my whole dick. The backlash I caught for that was insane. Now, mind you, some fans loved it, some fans didn't like it, but that's me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. The
Sure.
raw me is not everybody's cup of tea. So therefore, I just keep it quiet and just let my hands do the talking. I'm not finna play this game. I'm not finna be on here showing my ass, acting a donkey, doing all these extra antics. 'Cause that's not me. That's never been me. But I will talk my shit, and they're not gonna like it when I do that. So I just keep my mouth closed.
everything goes your way, you get by Perdomo, you are the number one contender. How huge would it be either for Chicago or Milwaukee? I mean, Chicago, Milwaukee, pretty close together. A title fight between you versus Big Ben, like in that
You
area,
know,
it's gonna be huge, right?
it depends on where the fight would be, honestly. Now, sure, no, Milwaukee and Chicago, while we are 2 hours away from each other, Chicago is probably one of the most hated cities. Matter of fact, Chicago is the most hated city in the Midwest. St. Louis doesn't like Chicago, Milwaukee, Detroit, Indianapolis. Nobody likes Chicago, and I get it. We're arrogant. We're a big city. We step on y'all, and I'm pretty sure it probably stems from the Bulls in the '90s. It's cool, whatever. We don't like y'all either. Fuck y'all. So if me and
All
if
right.
me and if me and Ben do have this fight, it'd probably be big. If now, from my understanding, it was just approved in the state of Indiana. So that's a 2 hour drive from Milwaukee. I say we make find the arena out here and make it happen. I'm pretty sure it'll do numbers. I love it.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the question. So another fellow fighter reached out, sent me a question for you. It's somebody that I feel like you know pretty well, one of your best friends in BKFC, Christine Misfit Faria. She said, Arnold stuck up for me when nobody would. He believed in me when nobody would. He was at a press conference and told them, why aren't you putting me on? That is my dog for life. Not many stand up for me, but he did pre-champ and 100% nothing to benefit. It actually probably hurt him because BKFC was mad at me at the time. How did you and Faria
Yeah.
become so tight? I see you cornering her, she corners you. Like, where did that friendship start?
It really just it started from that. Like I just felt like they did me the same way at one point, and nobody spoke up for me. So when I saw her going through it, the opportunity was there, and I just asked him point blank clear. Like we didn't have no prior conversations about it. We didn't plan it out or nothing. I just asked, and then once that happened, he was like, she's gonna, I'm gonna get her back in. She's fighting on it, blah 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 blah. Then she saw that, and then that's from that point forward we became locked in. Like that's my dog. Like felt like we was going through the same thing at different points in time. I remember what it felt like when I was going through it. So I was like, let me do what I can to see if and put a word in for her. And it worked. It played out. Now look at her. She got back on, she's on top and she ain't went nowhere since she got up there.
Let's
And I
talk
wasn't
about
going
this. Oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
wasn't gonna say anything about this till to the fight, but she's been on my ass more than my coaches, like constantly sending me messages and DMs about do this, do that, work on this, work on that, get this work in. Like I have a gang of messages from Christine about what to do to get prepared for this fight. So
Can we
we're real.
expect to see her in your corner?
Probably not in my corner, but she will be at the fight. And just like how her last couple of fights, I'll be as close as I can to the ring without being in her corner. I'm pretty sure she'll be somewhere within the vicinity.
And she's got that voice, you'll be able to hear her.
It's my dog.
Can we talk about how crazy she is though? Like she is next level. She's intense. Are you nearly as intense in training camp as she is?
Not at all. Not at all. I remember who was she fighting? I don't remember who she was fighting, but it was at the Hard Rock and we were at her Airbnb and she was cutting weight. So, I went in there to check on her. Get the fuck out of here. I'm cutting weight right now. I was like, boom, slam the door back. You ain't gotta tell me twice. I understand. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what type of PMS that is you got going on, but I'm gonna let you have it, baby. And I went back and got back in the pool and chilled out. But she's intense when she's in camp. And if you don't know her, like she doesn't mean anything bad by it. It's just her. She's locked in and she's in that mode. So she don't want nothing to come in and break it or change what she does on her protein. So I understood it. I just went and
Right.
sat back in the pool.
All right, she sent me this one too. She says another thing. He cornered me for the Britain Hart Championship fight, and one of her coaches asked him to infiltrate my camp and give her information. Is that true?
It wasn't that they asked me, they were trying to figure out why I was over there. And if I hope she's paying you to be over there. And it's funny because it was Joey Beltran that was sending me the messages. And I get it, that's your girl. We fought, but I don't have no loyalty to you. Like this is my dog. Like yeah, me and you fought once or twice or whatever the case it was, but no, you can't expect me to turn on her for the sakes of you and your wife. Nah, nah. What do you think this is?
You either got a phone call or your son
Get
touched
ready to
the.
hold
Oh,
this L.
Okay, so you cut out for a second. You talked about like I don't know if you got a phone call, but you
Yeah,
went black for a second.
that's
Okay, cool,
exactly
cool.
what it was.
Okay, you're good.
But no, he was trying to get me to like basically not corner her because he was like, "Are they paying you? Is she paying you for this? Is she doing that? Da 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 da." Man, don't worry about it. You focus on your wife and cornering her and prepare to take this L because she's not losing. And sure enough, she didn't.
You have a couple losses on your record. Is there any loss in particular that you're most excited to run back?
Honestly, I wanted that Alan Belcher. Like I was
Yeah,
stuck on that because I felt like I'm not gonna say any names, but a certain ref fucked me over in that fight. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But I was cooking him, and I don't know if maybe I got away from the game plan, lost focus after that second knockdown. It was like, why the fuck are we still fighting? But at the same time, I also want the Nick Terrell fight again. And we're 1-1. We got to settle this trilogy. The elevation got a hold of me last time, and my corners, DeRay and Mike, they the shit they talked after that fight, man. Like the brotherhood we have, when you're down, you're getting kicked. So you better be prepared. And they to this day they still kick me about that fight.
Okay, I don't want to ask how training camp's going, but how is your fitness and stuff?
Um, Better than it's ever been. I'll tell you that. It's 100%. And I've said this to Chris Lytle and uh, what's the other commentator?
Wheelock.
Yeah, Sean Wheelock. I said this to them, in the pre-fight interviews or whatever, a couple of times, but this time I actually mean it that it's a lot better. I'm tip top shape, no, but I'm right there knocking on it. And I have the stats to prove it. So yeah, I'm in good shape.
The few times I've seen you on camera, you look thinner. You look like to be in the best shape that we've seen you.
Yeah, I look thinner on camera, but that's just not eating correctly and still working out. But now I'm eating correctly. I'm doing my training. I'm lifting weights, and that's also something I've never really lifted weights during training camp. I'm actually putting in sessions, lifting weights. I'm running, which is everybody knows I hate running. I might run once or twice in a camp. I think I probably put in close to 70, 80 miles in the last 6 weeks. So I've really been putting it in.
It looks like they bumped the weight to 275. Does that help? Does it matter?
That I think that's what the cap was when I fought Mick was 275. It doesn't make a difference to me. I have my target range of where I want to come in at weigh-ins, and if within that range, I know I'll be fine. That extra 10 pounds, that's not for us. That's for Ben Rockwell. It's not for
Absolutely.
us. Right. But it's funny because this fight is capped at 265. So it's like, what the fuck?
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Like, yeah, how can you have a championship weight at 275, but then tell you guys can be over 265?
Whatever. It's their world, their rules. They change them as they go.
Okay, this isn't necessarily a question, but the photographer, BKFC photographer Phil said he's known you since BKFC 1. He said it's hard to shoot people like you and Kamosi because you're such genuine people away from the spotlight. You're an OG and you're one of his favorite people.
No, that Phil's my dog too. He stays blessing me with pictures. We also have a mutual friend, Lewis Taylor, who
Okay.
won the first PFL tournament in Chicago-based middleweight. I think middleweight is 180. Is that what
Yeah,
middleweight is?
around then. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. He's around there, but no, that's my dog. I love Phil. He's a good photographer. We talk about our kids and football camps and photo shoots, all that stuff. But no, yeah, since day one, he's been there snapping pictures. And I know
I
he doesn't get too many of me. Well, I don't have too many pictures of me getting my ass kicked, but he does. I don't really have too many pictures from him where my face is just blasted, except for this last one with Nick Terrell. Yeah.
I love Phil and I love dude, I can't remember Nick. Like I think the BKFC has probably two of the best photographers. The action
Phil,
shots that you guys get are fantastic.
Phil, Nick, I feel like there's one more. I just don't know his name. But Phil and Nick definitely, Nick Vespi,
Vespa, yep.
definitely, yeah, definitely get me together every time faithfully. And that's just the relationship we've built over the years after so many cards together. Even like if I come out to a show and I'm not fighting, they're still gonna grab some pictures of me. So yeah.
It seems like at the beginning of the year, we heard a lot of stuff about a $25 million tournament. Okay, I was curious if you'd heard anything about that. Like, it seems like that kind of like died. I don't know what's going on, but is that still something that's on your radar?
Man, if that tournament is still going, please let me know. I've been because when he announced it, the day he announced it, the night he announced it, he saw me during the fights, Feldman, and he was like, shook my hand, hey, what's going on? You're in the $25 million tournament, yada yada yada. You're gonna be fighting soon. So I was like, okay, cool. That's hey, now we talking. I've been here since day one. I've had offers from other promotions, other bare knuckle promotions. I'm not if it's not BKFC, I'm not gonna waste my time with it. So I'm big on loyalty. Like I preach that to my kids, and my son wants to transfer high schools to go play for the number three school in the state. And I'm like, no, that's not how we operate. I understand where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, but we stay loyal and we work and we build, and it pays off in the end. I'm big on loyalty. That's why I haven't went nowhere. I've had options to go fight other places, but that's not my interest. It's not where my head is.
Okay, that was another one of my questions was going to be, like you're very fortunate you have a good job with the security thing. But I mean, like I was curious if boxing had approached you or MMA or, if anybody was like, hey, look, they're not using you for anything.
So I haven't, and it's funny, I haven't had a boxing promotion reach out to me yet, and I wanted. This is the reason why I got into bare knuckle from the beginning. Like, okay, I could do this bare knuckle boxing, use this as a backdoor into the boxing world. Well, I don't have a manager. I've never had a manager that was connected in that field. I've always
Sure.
had managers connected in MMA, but I didn't. I don't want to do MMA anymore. I kind of outgrew MMA. I wouldn't mind doing boxing. I would do dirty boxing. That's something I could do. I, if the money is right, I would possibly go overseas to fight bare knuckle, but I wouldn't fight for another bare knuckle company here. I don't feel like it's worth it at the end of the day.
It's one of those things you got Mike Perry with the dirty boxing. I really hope they do a little bit of crossover. They just did they signed up with the Ice Wars thing. Can we ever see you on skates fighting somebody?
Probably
The
not.
hockey
I'm
fighters.
cool.
No,
I'm
no.
cool. No, no, that's a little unstable for me. Black people and ice don't really too much mix. Not true enough. I have seen a couple hockey players, who are black, but and I can ice skate, but punching on ice skate, y'all are nuts. Y'all lost me there. Just like the slap league is insane. That's the dumbest shit
Sure.
ever. That you're asking for brain damage. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, in a perfect world, you get by Perdomo. We saw that I think the other fights in July too for Big Ben. When would you like to fight again? Like before the end of the year. Like what are you looking?
No,
I heard
definitely.
you heavyweights take a little bit because you guys take quite a bit of damage. Is that true?
Who
Or
who takes damage?
Josh Watson told me it takes you heavyweights longer because you guys it's more strenuous on your body.
That may be Josh is a big boy.
Sure,
I'm pretty sure Josh probably cutting from 300 pounds. So it takes
easily.
him and Ben Rothwell are cutting from a heavier weight. Rothwell's cutting from 330. Like I'm never really over 280, 285. If I just decide to not do shit and be a slob, I get to 290, 295. But as of the last couple of years, I've been trying to keep myself around 275 at the heaviest, just off the strength that I know what it takes to cut that weight. And then on top of that, the way I look, like I have to look a certain way if I want to keep working in the security field, in the bodyguard world, in the
Sure.
EP world. I can't just be out here big and sloppy. While there are some guys who are, that's not me. And those guys who look like that can't move. If something happens and they got to scramble or whatever the case may be, they're gonna be out of breath within 10 seconds.
Is it more important in the security field to be able to use your brain or be able to use your fists?
My brain, you could defuse the situation before it even gets out of hand. Or in the case that it's already out of hand, using your fish, you're leaving your client unprotected. You got to use your brain.
It's weird because you do see occasionally, and I've never seen you, but you've seen some of the videos of like these security guards just absolutely dropping people, and that's clearly not the outcome you want, and then people get sued. And I mean, you got to be able to use your brain and de-escalate.
Yeah, no, for sure. You'll get a lot of people overzealous and talking shit and woofing, but you have to have that mental capacity to understand that you're just talking. Until they get physical or you see a clear and present threat, then you know you may have to do whatever needs to be done. But prior to, let them talk. Let them run their mouth. As long because if you do something and they just talking, you got a lawsuit coming, or your client's got a lawsuit coming, or both of y'all have a lawsuit coming. It's not worth it.
Do you ever like who would you say, like, are you a pretty good shit talker?
It depends. If you approach me talking shit, then yeah, I can fire back. But I just don't pop off. That's never. I did that one time before a fight and got cooked, and I was like, "Yep, never again. I'm not saying shit else." I got
All
it.
right. All right. So the last question I always ask people before, like when I interview them for the first time, do you remember the first time you were in a street fight? The first time you punched somebody out of anger who wasn't a relative?
Yep, in high school.
Can you tell us about it?
Um, so like I've always been a protector, and in my circle of friends, I was always that one that could fight. So there was one night I was my guys. They went to the skating rink for what's called the sock hop. So it's like a dance party on the skate floor, or whatever. They get into it with this big time crick that just moved to town from LA. You're okay. You're okay. Anyways, they get into him with that night. He talking shit. He pressed them, and they were scared because I wasn't there. So they called me on Sunday, told me the whole situation. Monday we got to school, and it was on. I didn't do it in school. I waited till after school. We met behind the school, and when I say I beat the dog shit out of this man, he had a bat and a glass bottle in his hand. I found a stick on the ground, bust the bottle in his hand. He swung the bat. I caught it, snatched it out of his hand. I shot a double on him, lifted him in the air, slammed him on the ground, and just got the teeing off on him. And nobody ever saw him again after that.
All right. Do you have a message for the fan? Any sponsors? Anything you want to get out before we call it a night?
I don't have any sponsors. Um, so that's dead. But for the fans, this is y'all know what Perdomo's bringing to the table. Y'all seen me in action. It's been a while, but y'all know it's going. We're the main event for a reason. Um, the calling for this fight is finally here. I say y'all pull up and get ready for the show. Even if you can't pull up, order the fight, get ready for the show because it's definitely gonna be a show
It'll be fireworks, that's for sure.
for sure.
All right. Thanks, champ, so much. I didn't think this was going to happen. I'm glad it finally happened. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, I've been a little hard to catch up with, but I had to make the time for you. So yeah, appreciate you for having me, bro.
Have a great night. Thanks, champ.
You too, man.